Welcome to another episode of Living Room Wisdom, where your story is your glory. I am Patrina Wisdom, abundance activator, best-selling author, TEDx speaker, and founder of the Pure Abundance Retreat. And today I get the honor of interviewing this beautiful young woman. You look like a Barbie doll. Just gorgeous. This is Cinderella Deot of House of Light. And so welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy that we finally get to do this. Yeah.
Me too.
This is a recent connection, so I'm going to be learning more about you as our audience gets to learn more about you as well. So to start off, I would love for you to just share with everybody not what you do, but who you are. Who is Cinderella Deot?
Yeah, who is Cinderella? I'm a mother of two young children. I originally come from the Netherlands. And when I was 28, I took a one-way ticket and traveled around the world. So who am I? I think I'm a person who loves adventure and learn about other cultures and experience life to the fullest. I choose experience over materialism, and I'm passionate about helping people transform their lives and their inner world. Big passion for life in general.
Yeah. And where does that come from, do you think? What's been your greatest challenge in life?
Where does it come from? I think it's literally innate in my personality. When I was young, I created a dream book when I was 11 years old. Really? Yes. Like how we know the vision boards nowadays. Yeah. I had a dream book and I put in all different pictures of photos from all over the world. Back then I had no idea where it was in the world, but it seemed amazing to visit all these places one day. So I think it started at a very young age. Not sure why that was. And when I was a little older, I started to travel pretty young, when I was 20 years old. Okay. Yeah, first big travel to the Dutch Antilles. And when I was 23, I had travels to Southeast Asia, to South Africa for months with a backpack on and hitchhiking around, low budget, and just exploring the world. And when I was 28, I was really ready to say, I don't think that in this small country, the Netherlands, that this has all what I'm searching for. So let me just take a one-way ticket and just literally dive into life and see where I end up.
So let me ask you this then. With your family growing up, did you all do a lot of traveling?
Yes, but within Europe.
Okay.
But we took summer breaks. Italy, Spain, France. Not international travels.
Okay. No. There's such a distinct difference, though, I believe, in growing up in Europe and growing up in the United States. And in essence, I guess it's really not that different, because in the States, you can be born in Las Vegas and, your parents will take you to Arizona and California and Texas and wherever else. And then in Europe, it just sounds so much more grandiose, because it's like, well, I was born in, the Netherlands, but we traveled to Italy and to this. When in reality, you just jump on a bullet train and you're there in a couple of hours. But I do feel like the cultural aspect and the enrichment and the experience is so much different going from the Netherlands to, London to South Africa or whatever than it is here. And so one of the things that has always fascinated me, which I love travel just because it opens up an entire, new world, is that here in the States, we're very much indoctrinated to go to school, get an education, get your degree, like all of these things. We're not encouraged to go out and see the world and find ourselves or figure out what we want to do first. Whereas I feel like a lot of you Europeans are. Absolutely. Like that hitchhiking and taking off at 20 years old it's a thing. It's encouraged.
It's very common to take a sabbatical before you continue your study and to explore, to enrich yourself in that way. It's very, very encouraged. And of course, we still have the same goals, like, eventually you want to have a diploma, you want to get a good job, or you want to get married and have kids, but there's not a very tight timeline to that. There's not such a thing as failing if you do different. We are very flexible, as in thinking out of the box and creating your own path wherever that leads to.
Is entrepreneurship a big thing?
No.
There?
No.
I didn't think so. That's why I'm like,
Correct.
It's very open-minded. Yes. Go, find yourself, explore, see the world. and then come back and get a job.
Yeah, actually it is. But the job system is actually very different than in America. That's totally true. We have a lot of vacation days.
Right,
compared to
holiday. You're always on holiday.
Yes, you can take breaks, holidays. When you gave birth, you have all this time off. Like it's very different. So yes,
it's more conducive to having a life and a career. It sounds like. Yeah. Well, it's very different here. I know that I left home at 16 and decided to, travel the world and modeling and all of the things. And people thought I was nuts.
Yeah. I can imagine.
They were so scared for me. Like, wait, you're going where? You're doing what? Wait, by yourself, And so I do believe that contributed, me being kind of like a rebel, contributed to everything that I've been able to evolve to. Yeah. And so what do you think life would have been like had you actually been raised in the States? What would be different?
That's a good question. What would have been different?
Yeah.
I think with my personality, not much would have been different. I think I'm a rebel inside, so I would always follow my own path, regardless. I understand the system here and what is expected of you to do, but I just never, ever did. Neither when I was young. So I think either when I would live in the Netherlands or I would have born in the States, I think with just me, how I am.
Bucking the system, you and me. The two tall girls bucking the system over there.
No.
I love that. And so that doesn't sound like it was that big of a challenge, right? So from outside looking in, other people would have been like, oh, that's so brave. That's so whatever. But like for our type of person, it's like, no big deal. So what's been a big challenge for you in your life then?
Wow, that started actually when I was 30 and I got into my relationship and marriage and motherhood. The responsibility came in.
Yes.
The freedom kind of disappeared of the traveling and going where I wanted to go, work where I wanted to work, when I wanted to work. And then the challenges began. Yeah, absolutely. Challenges with traveling, however, is that you have to start your life from scratch in any place. I lived in Australia for a year, in Dominican Republic, many countries, and you have to tap into the resources and create a new support network and find jobs and sustain yourself. So, of course, that was always then a challenge, but probably with personalities like this, it kind of flows. It finds its way. But when I got married, it was not an easy marriage. Getting my residency throughout the process was kind of stressful as an immigrant. And at one point, when I lived in Puerto Rico with my ex-husband, we had one daughter, and in 2017, the hurricanes Irma and Maria hit the island, and it destroyed the whole island. We had a company, and the company obviously had to be shut down. We were in tourism. No tourists came anymore. Nature destroyed, the infrastructure, everything. And so yes, after surviving these hurricanes, finally I could evacuate the island, and I arrived in the States in 2017. Randomly picked California, and I had to find a home to live in. Dishes.
Start over.
Yeah, sofa, everything. So luckily I had donations from the church, secondhand furniture, and just started life over. Find a job, live off alone. And once I had my life built up in that sense with my ex-husband, I got pregnant of a second child. Very welcomed, not expected. And then what happened then? After 6 months old, having my child, I divorced my ex-husband. Then I had to start over again. No family around, no friends, just relocated to this place. Had to reinvent my career again, build up new friendships, and everything. Just found an apartment and started again, co-parenting, 50-50%. And then COVID hit.
Right. It's like one thing after another.
Absolutely. And then I had to reinvent my career again.
Yeah.
Because I lost all the jobs, the contracts that I had.
So that should be your title, Queen of Reinvention.
Yes.
I renamed you.
Yes, Queen of Reinvention.
Cinderella Deot, Queen of Reinvention.
Yeah. Resilience is the word there.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't stop. And I have a very positive outlook on life. So regardless what happened, the trauma got stuck in my body. And years later, after the surviving period kind of was over and I came into calmer waters in my current marriage, like, okay, now I can work on everything actually that happened all these years ago.
Yeah, so you survived, and now you're working on actually creating a life, right? And living a life of thrival, as I like to call it, right? A life of being in abundance and really creating this joy and this fulfillment and impact, or whatever that looks like. So this is actually a very good way to segue into the work that you and your husband do and kind of what your impact and your offering to the world is. So share about that.
Exciting. I'm into wellness. My husband was into wellness as well, specifically for veterans, into psychedelic retreats to help them transform and reprogram their mind and release their trauma. And when we got married, we said, okay, let's create the House of Light. It's now a nonprofit religious institution. And we offer all kinds of programs for people to transform on a quantum level. So we go deep, we look at what is the source of it, and we don't continue rehashing the past. We look towards the future. Where do I want to go? And we take you in the direction. And we do that with coaching programs. We guide people on psychedelic journeys to tap into the subconscious world. That's where most of the trauma and beliefs are stored. Yes. So yoga can go a long way, and some acupuncture. However, if you want to skip 10 years of talk therapy, psychedelics is probably the way. But besides that, for people who are not into that or not ready for that, we do offer sound journeys to work with frequencies. What else? There's so much going on. Breath work, cold plunges.
Yeah, all the tools.
Yeah, all the tools.
Yeah, all the tools. Wow. And how long has that been in existence?
Together originally for about 1.5 years.
Okay.
But being in the wellness industry is already since 10 plus years.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You had to go collect all those tools, right? So it's just been an evolution, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
And so House of Light, as it is now, is a center?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you have all of these things under one roof. What does House of Light look like 5 years from now? What's the vision?
We will be having our own, what I envision, wellness bar somewhere in the area along the coast of Encinitas. It will be the new spiritual hub for people to come and not work on their physical health, because there's a lot to offer out there, but to work on the level of soul, of mind, to transform people. So it will be a place where people can have their mocktails, alcohol-free, and there will be public speakers, some workshops, some seminars, some sessions about breath work, anything related to growth, because growth never stops.
Yeah. And if you could leave a legacy, one word that describes your legacy once you're long gone, what would that word be?
That word will be... I stick to resilience.
Resilience. Yeah.
Never, ever give up. Keep going. Whatever the world throws at you, people throw at you, keep believing in yourself and in the vision you have and in the dream you want to achieve. Because only if you feel it on the inside, it truly resonates to you, you can bring it into fruition.
I absolutely believe that. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just because we're rebels. I believe that resilience can be cultivated. Right? Absolutely can. So I want to just shift a little bit. Okay, we've talked about who you are. We've talked about your biggest challenge. We've talked about your incredible impact and your work in the world. And now, of course, I want to ask about the relationship stuff because honestly, you are a rebel for sure, because it's like you're going to try and try again and try again. And it takes an incredible level of trust, an incredible level of like, bring it on, to keep getting back in the rink. And so this is marriage 3? 2. Okay. Yeah. So most people wouldn't have gone back, right?
Yeah.
So I would love to just hear about that experience. Like, how do you keep going into battle, having these experiences, getting back up, and then being able to actually step into this new relationship with an open, fresh perspective and give love a try again?
Absolutely. I think in the end we are social beings.
Yes.
Whatever dreams we have achieved, how much money we have in our bank account, we will never feel fulfilled if we can give and receive love. So I think the ultimate goal of any human being is probably to connect to a person or a tribe or a community, however that relationship looks like for you. So probably no matter how much you fall on your face, I think for love, just that spark of hope that you can find the right person will always make you get back on your feet and keep going and go on that next date. And I've been dating around a lot. I have a very strong intuition, so I always knew from the beginning, this is temporary, or this is not it, or this is a lesson to be learned. And my former marriage was a tough one. Still working on letting go of, stuck traumas, big and small. But I knew I didn't want to stay alone. But I also would not settle for the very first that would come along. It totally needs to click. It needs to feel 100% right. I would never choose for less. And I was always able, in the end, being such a fighter, to sustain myself financially. So I'm like, okay, what do I need a partner for? Well, you can walk on my side and add something on, but not because I'm missing something. I was fulfilled.
You show up whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
and
amazing.
I met my current husband through social media.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually we stepped into this friendship of collaboration. And then quickly we just decided like, oh, this is not just a collaboration of friendship. And 4 months later, I got married.
Wow. Isn't that interesting how that happens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to always fight for your relationship. You got to work on it. We work through things, but we are both for transformational work and healing work that we do. So we help each other going through our episodes of growth.
You're in it
We're
together.
In it. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, this has been so good. This has been so enlightening. I could just stare into your eyes all day long anyways, but I just love how you show up and the energy that you bring. And I love all the work that you all are doing in the world. I'd like to come actually experience one of the sound baths.
Come, please.
That would be amazing.
You're invited.
Well, thank you. I got a personal invitation. So thank you so much for sharing. I know that, this was some information that you'll be able to go chew on and marinate on and, hopefully make some big decisions for your life as well. I know this was very inspiring. No matter what you've gone through, whether it's in, life or in love or in career, you can get back up and rebuild. So take that as a lesson, take that to heart, and go do some big shit in the world.
Yes.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and bring this episode to a close. Go ahead and subscribe to our podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And we will see you right back here, same time, same place, next week on Living Room Wisdom, where your story is your glory. Have a good one.